Hello, everyone. This is Josh from Sellzee. Thanks for tuning in. Sellzee is your spirit guide to the world of retail and online arbitrage. Today, we're going to be talking about a very important upcoming deadline for Amazon FBA sellers. That's the long-term storage fee assessment date that happens on February 15th. This year is much more important compared to years past because there's no longer a single ASIN exemption for media items. And that means in years past, Amazon, if you only had one item of a particular ASIN and it was a media item, Amazon would exempt you from the long-term storage fee, which, may have led you to acquire a lot of slower moving inventory items because you may have thought, you'll never have to pay the long-term storage fee. Well, that day has come and you might be looking at a very large bill on February 15th, wondering what to do. You might be wondering, should I pay the fee to keep it there? Should I pay 50 cents to have it removed? Should I pay 15 cents to have them dispose of it? These are all legitimate questions. Those are the three most common alternatives for everyone, but you might also have some other alternatives like trading it into your local bookstore. If we're talking about books, you might be able to trade it in for store credit and then use that credit to buy additional inventory. So there's a lot of alternatives to look at, and the right way to do this, to figure out what to do before February 15th, is to look at every individual item in your inventory independently and ask yourself, if I had the chance to buy this item and I knew I had to pay the long-term storage fee, would I buy this item? So it's kind of like scouting your own inventory. But with 10,000 items, that process, although it is the right approach, is incredibly time consuming. I mean, I could see you taking 30, 100 hours to do that. Depending on the size of your inventory, it could take a really long time. So that's why we've gone ahead and created a completely free Excel tool that does this all for you. It automatically pulls in your inventory and tells you exactly what the optimal decision is for each item in order to maximize your payoff. So we ran our inventory through this tool a couple weeks ago, and here's what it told us to do. This pie chart over here on the right summarizes what the optimal decisions are. So it said dispose about 58%, remove 36%, and use our private trade-in. And for the remaining 6%, keep it there and pay the long-term storage fee. So that's about 100 items is telling us to keep it there. Now, how important is it to make the right decision? You might be thinking, oh, it's just so easy to just dispose everything. What if I just dispose everything? Well, here on the left, it's showing you, in our case, the payoff of each alternative, okay? So the payoff for making the optimal choice on each item is about $15.61. And for comparison's sake, the payoff of disposing all of our items would cost us $270. It would be a payoff of negative $270. So the difference between negative 270 and positive 1561 is the extra money that we're getting by making the optimal decision on every item instead of just disposing every item, right? So it's a non-trivial amount. It's about $1,800. And considering that you can do this analysis in a matter of seconds with this free Excel tool, I think it's worth $1,800 for a few seconds, and I'm sure you would agree. Now, let's look over here. It could even be worse than that, though, right? Our cost could have been even more than $1,800 for making the wrong decision. The worst choice for every item. What if we made the worst choice for every item? That would have costed us $9,800. So the total cost of making suboptimal decisions in our case was over $11,000. So you might be, and we have about 10,000 items in our inventory. We evaluated 1,800 of them that were subject to long-term storage fee. So if you have anywhere near 1,800 items, you could be taking at least $11,000 in risk by not making the best choice. So let's show you how to populate this tool with your own inventory. Go ahead and click on the link below. It's going to take you to our blog article where you can download this tool. It's completely free. I'll go ahead and wait here until you got the file open. Then we're going to walk you through step by step how to create this tool with your own inventory. Okay, I'm assuming that you got the file open and you're ready to follow along. First thing we're going to do, by the way, this is really easy. It's only going to take a couple clicks and then you're going to have all of your decisions ready to act on. So the first thing we're going to do is hop over to Amazon Seller Central. We're going to go to Reports, Fulfillment, and then Inventory Age. And we're going to download the Inventory Age report. Then we're going to go back to our Excel file. We're going to switch to the Decisions tab. We're going to click on the Pull Inventory button, select the text file that we just downloaded. You don't have to convert it to Excel. It reads the text file directly. Click Open. And in the background, it's grabbing that file and dumping in only the data it needs. So only the inventory that's subject to your long-term storage fee. Okay, that's the first step. The second step is there's a couple of other data items we need, things like rank and cost, to be able to produce this output. So go over to the other data export tab, and I'm just going to delete the stuff that's there so you can see how to start completely from scratch. And we just need to populate these fields: sales rank, price, cost. It doesn't matter where you get this data from, as long as you just put the data beneath these column headers, one row for each item in your inventory. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We get our data from Sellzee, so we're going to show you how you can export a report that gets you this exact same data, but you might get it from Listy or from some other tool that manages either your inventory or repricing. So we're going to hop over to Sellzee and go ahead and grab that data now. Okay, we did a little TV time out there. We're in Sellzee and we went to Settings, Export, and we already had a report set up. In a different video, we'll show you how to set up a Sellzee report, but we already had one set up for inventory evaluation. If you're using Sellzee, make sure you click the Include Items with Zero Quantity, just in case there's a timing mismatch between your Amazon inventory and your Sellzee inventory. And then just go ahead and click on Export Now, and that's going to take you over to the Recent Exports tab and start downloading the file. Now, we've already downloaded a file in advance to save some time, and we have it saved here, Inventory Evaluation. We're going to go ahead and open up that file. We're going to copy just the data out of it, not the column headers, and we're going to paste it in there. By the way, I did paste as values. That's just a habit from my Excel nerdery, but you can just do a regular copy paste, Control-C and Control-V. So now we got all the data in here that's needed. And as you can see, it's refreshed this analysis for our latest inventory and given us new decisions. So that's literally all you have to do to produce this for your own inventory to get the optimal decisions and maximize the payoff. What you want to spend a little bit of time on, though, and you could do this before or after bringing in the data, it doesn't really matter. You want to customize your assumptions. Okay, so let's spend a few minutes talking about what alternatives are built into this Excel file. So you can either dispose, which is going to cost you 15 cents. You can remove it and do some type of trade-in. That could be a private trade-in with another dealer, with another bookstore. It doesn't matter. You can remove it and trade it in back to Amazon, because Amazon has a trade-in value for some of their items. You can keep it and lower the price, or you can remove it and restock it at a lower price. Now, the lower price part is optional. It's up to you if you want to lower the price after you keep it or after you remove it. Okay, but this whole blue section here is the area that you want to customize. So let's just go one scenario at a time. So we're looking at dispose right now. Anything that says nil, you can just completely ignore it. It means that that input is not applicable to your scenario. So under the dispose scenario, only the dispose fee value is applicable. So that's why there's only one value you need to put in. And for everybody, this is going to be the same, right? It's going to just be 15 cents for everybody, regardless of who you are, assuming that you're doing FBA. So remove plus private trade-in. This is a little bit of a fancy one. So removal fee is always going to be the same. We have shoppers that shop on our behalf, and we pay them $1 for every item. And when they do trade-ins for us, they also get a commission, because that takes time to do that. So we put in $1 for that. If you needed to zero that out, you could zero that out. We're going to keep ours at $1. And then there's different options for your trade-in method. You could do a percentage of the price. That's what it's set to be right now. you could do a fixed dollar amount. If I do a fixed dollar amount, notice how the other assumptions that don't apply anymore go away, and I get a fixed dollar amount. So maybe you had a bookstore near you that gives you $1 for every book, right? That's how you would set that up. So now we have it on trade-in method fixed at $1. The final option is a straight swap. So if you did a straight swap, what that means is you're just going to get another book for the book that you're trading in. I'm using books in this example, but it doesn't necessarily have to be books. Okay, let's leave ours on percentage of price the way that we had it before. If you have it on percentage of price, you can either choose the current price to use, because it's going to give you 20% credit for your current price. If I put it on adjusted, it's going to use my adjusted price, which you can also customize down here what the adjusted price is. So down here, I can say for every individual item, whether I want to use the price that's the lowest price of same condition, or whether I want to use a custom discount percent. Okay, if I use a custom discount percent, then I'm just telling it exactly what amount to discount it by. But I'm going to keep it on lowest same condition there. Okay, so we're going to keep it on lowest same condition, but if you did want to use a custom discount, you would just switch it to custom discount and then fill out this value right here, discount for price drop alternatives. So I had it on 20% there, but again, I'm just going to keep it on lowest same condition, and it's using our other data to pull in the lowest price in the same condition as ours. Okay, so this is pretty sophisticated here, but really easy to set your own assumptions. And so it works for a variety of different use cases, right? So we're going to keep it on 20% trade-in credit for the current price. Okay, the other assumptions that you have here, average purchase cost. So this is saying how much does your new book cost? Not new as in condition, but like the book that you're trading for, how much does that cost? And you can put in a cost of your time, because you're going to have to deal with receiving the item and prepping it, and the cost of driving, whatever it may be. So there's a placeholder for a cost of your time. There's also a placeholder for listing and prepping cost, inbound shipping. The rest of this stuff is pretty straightforward. Okay. The average selling price, how much do your books sell for on average? Again, I'm using books in this case, but it could be any item. So we put in $13.50 there because that's the average price of books that we get from this particular source. Okay, so that's that alternative. Now, if you were to do an Amazon trade-in, it's almost identical, except for this whole section is irrelevant, so you don't have to fill out this section. And for items that we source from Amazon, our selling price is a little bit higher, so we put in $20 for that. Now, if we keep and lower the price, we're paying the long-term storage fee. That's built into the analysis, so you don't have to plug that into the assumptions. And then we're going to pay a monthly storage fee until it sells. In all these cases, you're going to pay a monthly storage fee. And then the final scenario, if I remove it and restock it at a lower price, I have to remove it, so I pay the removal fee. I have to pay the inbound shipping fee when I send it back, pay the monthly storage fee until it sells, and oh, by the way, I can't send it back in until the blackout period is over, which is about 4.5 months, right? So that shows you how to customize this section. You can't really screw it up as long as you just fill out the blue values only, and some of these are drop downs. There's really no way to mess it up. Just make sure that you populate this section with the assumptions that make sense for your business. We've even factored in the media fee increase, which is going to happen, I believe, on March 1st, that they're going to be charging $1.80, I believe, for variable commission fee, and then order handling is now going to apply to media items as well. So we're already factoring that amount in. Okay, that takes care of the whole assumptions section. Now, in terms of the amount of time it takes to sell, we're going to talk about why this matters a little bit more in a separate video, but for now, just keep in mind that it does matter a little bit how long it's going to take your items to sell, no matter what your alternative is, right? For any alternative that involves an assumption about how long it takes something to sell, you're going to want to customize the amount of time to sell. section, which is going to be dependent on rank. We've built this so that it's dependent on rank. So like an item with a rank of 600,000, we're saying that's going to take about 3.5 months to sell. You can change these assumptions to whatever you'd like. If you're dealing with a category that's different than books, like maybe you're dealing with toys, then you want to populate this section with ranks and times to sell that makes sense for toys. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it can make it can change the decision from one scenario to the next depending on how long the items take to sell. So if you want to be really thorough, go ahead and fill this section out as well. And then finally, if you want to force disposals, like if you regardless of the optimal decision, if you want to just say yes, always remove items that are worse than 2.5 million rank and the current selling price is less than $7, you could change this to or if you want. And you can, like I said, you can change any of the blue numbers in here. Okay, so I think we covered a lot to get you started. The next step is going to be actually acting on these decisions. So in the next video, we're going to show you how to act on these decisions, how to export this data down here into your repricer and into Amazon to do your disposals and removals. So thanks very much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Also, please let us know in the comments section what features you'd like to see next in this spreadsheet. So like, for example, the time to sell section, if you wanted to have different time to sell blocks for different product groups, for example, you want one for toys, then we can absolutely improve the model to support those alternatives. So once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.